We came from a distant land, our lives already planned. We came in ships from across the sea. Home again we'd never see. And here we are, American fruit with African roots. The time has come for us to join hands and never be punished by the rules of this land. Now that we're aware of what we must do, no longer afraid, no longer a fool. Now that we are, now that we are aware of our African
SEBA started in the fall of 1976 when Irene Smalls, class of 71, came to myself and Carlton Holmes, who's class of 72, and she had the idea of an organization, not only to keep friends in touch, but also to start a legacy, to prove that black students were at Cornell.
Well, it really came from the experience of the Cornell sort of black student movement. It came from a course I took at Cornell called Myth, Ritual, and Symbol. And in that course, it talked about the importance of symbolism and legacy and how really generations teach one another based on the history. And given the fact that there was no legacy, a black legacy at Cornell, that I was really struck by that. And so I had the idea of we need to connect black Cornellians, not just around Cornell, but around our collective African diaspora experience.
I think isolation, feeling alienated from the mainstream, feeling marginalized or having marginalization imposed on us was a catalyst for us pulling this organization together.
The 70s were, I guess you would use the word tumultuous for Cornell, and black students really had to step to the front lines in order to make their presence known and to try to create an atmosphere that was more welcoming for black students.
We wanted the organization to be both social and political. It was filtering down from Ithaca that the attrition rate for black students had risen, and we knew that there was a need for an organization such as SEBA to address this.
Sandy has a great memory.
Great memory.
30 years is a long time.
Great memory.
We just all thought it was a great idea to do something like this. In my mind, the first priority was so we could keep in touch with each other. You know?
We wanted to keep that special, unique sense of family and community that we shared up at the university.
We knew that we were onto something, that it was going to be a legacy that would be around for a while.
We decided on something social. We had a cocktail sip at the old Cornell Club in October, and it was well attended. People were enthusiastic about the organization, and they said, let's definitely do something. So we got our mandate.
I got involved as an active participant in 1980, coming out of the 1980 reunion. During that time and through the mid-80s, I had spent a lot of time talking to university officials and to other white alumni about answering the questions of why do you need a Black Alumni Association? Why are you doing this? Why don't you just join the other organizations?
And I think the needs of the black alumni were different from your regular class. I'm in the class of 76, and they may not do the same activities or have the same interests. I think SEBA's main things were that they were going to help with admissions, with financial aid, and trying to sort of continue the black experience in Ithaca.
It's like we had SEBA on campus before we really had SEBA. And I think that SEBA as an organization became formal once we left, but we had that informal network going on while we were in school. I moved to Boston in the late 80s, early 90s. I got together with two other graduates from my class, Jamila Franklin and Janice McManus, and we decided that we were going to bring SEBA to Massachusetts.
When you're a person who likes to be around people and you like to see people doing well, SEBA activities are a chance to see all that. Even if you meet classmates who are not doing too well, it's a way to inspire them to say, hey, remember that test you didn't think you could pass? You did it. Remember that girlfriend you thought or boyfriend you thought was, it? You're not even near that person now. So you don't focus on the temporal things. You try to keep your mind on the long-range goals.
It's wonderful to see this concept of an African-American network, that's focused on helping each other, that's focused on, maintaining ties, keeping the Cornell presence at Cornell, and it does so much in terms of, encouraging black students to apply to and to accept going to Cornell.
Little did we know that 30 years out, the seeds that we were planting would grow into a strong and deeply rooted organization.
I met many of the alumni through my involvement on campus. I had been a student leader, I was also a student trustee, and I had a chance to meet alumni as they were coming back to campus for Cornell Council and other meetings. I was very impressed with the group of people that I met, learned more about SEBA, and we also called on alumni in SEBA regarding some of the issues that we were trying to engage the university around. Lots of people from the 80s certainly stepped up in leadership roles and had a significant presence at reunions and other activities. That included Lisa Jones. She served as the president for 4 years with distinction. Linda Gadsby-Baptiste served for 2 terms actually, and had a very strong officer group as well. And Cheryl Austin followed her in terms of serving as the president of SEBA as well.
Ruby was the one who called me and asked me if I would consider running for president of SEBA, and it was good to get that call from her. She was always available during our board's term from 2001 to 2003 to talk about what had been done historically, who should we call, how should we do this, and that was, I think, the thing. There was just this really tight-knit group that was invested in us remaining successful. So much about Cornell can really bring you down, and it feels like there are so few black students there, and so you are just struggling against what seems like these massive odds for you to not succeed. But SEBA was there, mentors were there, we were there for each other as classmates, and so I think that was really important.
And one of the other more significant things we were able to accomplish was actually making the case to the university for the need for a director of minority alumni affairs.
I started as the director of minority alumni programs in the Office of Alumni Affairs in 1991, and at that point my responsibilities were providing support from the university for the Cornell Black Alumni Association and also the other minority alumni organizations. After I started working with the organization, one of our goals was to develop the regional activities, and we did that over a period of years. They were a groundbreaking organization. They were the first organization that stood up and said that we want to get involved with Cornell, but the way the university has provided us an avenue to get involved is not conducive to us being able to do what we need to do. They paved the way for reaching out to these different alumni groups. And in doing that, they also allowed other organizations the opportunity to found their own organization so they could reach out to Asian alumni, Latino alumni, and Native American alumni.
What I look most forward to about reunions, okay, I'll tell you the truth, it's the parties.